I'll say this before like we get into it. Like, you guys are gonna see what we talk about for this reaction, and I'm gonna do a quick plug of a wish list that I did, because like I don't want this video to be about what I want in the game. This is more of a reaction that actually happened in the video. So if you guys want to see like what I would like to have improved or added, this is the video you need to check out, because yeah, this is more of a reaction what happened. So before you guys ask me what do I want changed, what do I want implemented, this is the video to go check out. So let's get into today's video. All right, so today we're gonna be reacting to STS's franchise in March to October stream. I'm gonna cover March to October briefly. I'm more here about franchise. I'm assuming that's why you guys are here as well. I've already watched the stream. I'm going back and reacting to it now. This way I can pause, give my thoughts to you guys, and then, obviously go back and watch part of the stream. That way we're not, I'm not talking over them. We're not missing any of the info. And also for those guys that did miss the stream, you guys can kind of get the idea of what's going on here. I'm going to let you know, I'm going to be very, very blunt. I'm kind of pissed. And no, I'm pissed. Like, it's unreal. It's so bad. So let's react to it. Let's get into it. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that thumbs up. If you're new around here, appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, put in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the updates to franchise in March to October. And I want to hear what you guys say. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Twitter. Whatever it is. Let's get into it. So here we go. All right, I'm just gonna skip this part because they literally just say, "Oh, this is what franchise is. You control the team, blah blah blah." So I'm gonna skip this part.
Single move your team makes, maybe play a little less. It's perfect. It's completely
okay. This part.
The cool thing is everything is very customizable. If you just want to play games and let the AI take control over the rest, that's great. Or on the flip side, if you want to really dive into every single move your team makes, maybe play a little less. It's perfect. It's completely customizable.
It is customizable, or so they say. We've had for multiple years the AI getting involved with how moves are made. They change the lineup, they handle your call up and send downs, they would change your team. So they say it's fully customizable, and we can control everything, or we can choose to let the AI control some things. But that's a lie. The AI has been able to change things whenever they want. So unreal.
I definitely can, but let me start with a little insight into our thinking. We have a clear vision for where we want to go with franchise in March to October, and to get there we needed to revamp the core of these modes. This meant we needed to drastically improve how we evaluated players. As you can imagine, revamping the core of entire modes is a monumental task. We spent a lot of effort in this area. We ran numerous 30-year simulations, collected and crunching the data of thousands of players across both the majors and the minors, and we're pretty pumped with what's come out of this endeavor.
Clayton, this sounds amazing. So tell us, what's new when it comes to evaluating players in MLB the Show 21's franchise mode?
So we took this mountain of data that I just talked about, and we created some impressive new systems. For the first time in this show, we can project how a player's skills will progress into the future across the length of a current contract.
Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. They talk about player projections, essentially, how they're gonna do, how they can, maybe they will later on show that, down a couple years, you can kind of see your depth chart in the future, that you can see that they project them to be, if there's 85 overall to start, they'll be maybe an 87 next year, 89, so on and so forth. So that's cool. That's something that's awesome to see, that they've added, something that they show a player projection, not necessarily a screen, but they're showing player projections. Like, I'm okay with that. That's not a bad little addition, but again, I feel like that's more of that you can already kind of see that by looking at players' potential. So I feel like that's just nothing but a quality of life addition. So again, it's cool
across the length of the contract,
but I'm not sold.
Or is wins above replacement. It measures a player's value, and all it influences is our ability to determine whether a player is overproducing or underproducing in relation to his contract's average annual value. We've never been able to do this before, let alone do it intelligently, and we felt it was imperative for both realism and accuracy that a player's salary be a major factor in his value. When you combine those three components, our new ability to project skill progression into the future, our new system for comparing players' performance to his expectation, and our new ability to look at a player's production compared to his salary, what all that gives us is our brand new system for determining a player's trade value, the trade metric.
Okay, so this is okay. Again, they changed trade logic. So there's contract, there's performance, there's potential. There's these things that show you the trade
We
metric.
believe
What
the
was
community is going to love compared to his salary.
so
but all
attributes,
that gives us is our
performance,
brand
and
new
contract.
system.
So all those things go into trade logic and what a player is valued at. So, okay, cool. That's revamping. That's something that's already in the game. That's revamping something that already should have been fixed the previous years, because you've seen some of the trades that I do in rebuilds. You've seen some of the trades that you've done in your franchise saves and what other people have done. The trade system has been flawed for years, and for them to finally come up with something that it seems like a really good idea on paper, okay, that's cool. Are we really gonna see it work? Is it gonna be flawed? Is it gonna be broken again? I don't really know what to expect from it. It sounds like a really good thing, but again, it's just another quality of life thing that's already in the game.
System where we felt that our ability to project the skills, progression, and our system for comparing a player's performance to his expectation, we felt that led to more realistic and accurate contract values. The second one, the call-up send-down logic, where we use the new war-based performance tracking system, that's going to help us better determine promotions and demotions. Finally, it was incorporated into the depth chart, with the depth chart integrating our new ability to project skill progressions in a very cool way, and something that Kyle's going to touch on shortly.
All right, so they're going to talk about the depth chart in a sec. So basically, they changed the way players are valued, their projections, and just kind of how the players are seen. They show on the depth chart, where they're ranked. It'll show in your contract negotiations, which I thought was a good idea. Some of the contracts that you were able to throw out there are they're kind of bad, right? And then also in the trade value. So trade logic, contract logic, and then ranking within your own organization, all that logic is changed. But again, that's something that should already be in the game. Like, it is a good addition. It is a good change in the right direction to have something like that implemented. But I just feel like if this is the main component that you're trying to sell me to enjoy franchise, is that, hey, we just change the logic in which we value players. Baby steps, I guess. Baby steps. So yeah, we'll see. Have they even changed contracts? Can we go to, what was it? 30 million was the most we can offer a player a year. Are we allowed to go over that, since that's what players are starting to do nowadays? So let's talk about the depth chart.
So Clayton talked a lot about the systems underlying franchise mode, and that's one piece of the core. The other piece of that core is how you interact with the game, and this is more the visual side. So we present the depth chart. It's really just the GM's dream. It's a one-stop shop for all the information you could pretty much ever need for your ball club. But the key, as you see it here, it's not just a table, it's not just a spreadsheet, it's not just a bunch of information thrown at you. It's a very visual, easy to understand way to help you build your ball club.
All right, Cal, depth.
So looking at that just immediately, it looks good. It looks like that's kind of your new roster hub, and it looks great. You can see everything laid out. It looks a lot better. It's easier on the eyes. You can see who's at what position, what overall they are. It looks pretty good. It looks like there were some icons next to the names as well. Which let's see what happens.
Let's take a look at the Rays depth chart on the screen. Kyle, what are we looking at?
Yes, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays here. At first glance, you're going to notice these starters at every single position. The more you look, the more information you're going to see. That little number next to them is their player overall. It's kind of a rating of how well that player will perform. And there are also these little icons scattered around the screen. The blue one with a sheet of paper on it, that means that player is in a contract year, and it will be the last year on your team unless you re-sign him. There's also the red icon with a white arrow. That means that player is a top prospect. Those you normally see on your depth guys, so you get that full picture of that position. But of course, we're not just talking about the present here. That's only one key component of building an MLB roster. The future is the second piece. So as you can tab through and easily see the next upcoming seasons, you can see that the players are changing and their projections are changing. This is the logic that Clayton was talking about a little bit earlier. So we take a look at Wander.
Okay, so this I like this. Again, it's just a quality of life thing where you're getting a little. It makes it a little bit easier on the user, right? That's what quality of life things are. It's easier on the eye. I like this interface. It looks good. You get the contract year, so you're in 2024. You can see it shows. You got a couple players in your contract year. You can see Wander Franco's projected to be about an 85, and you can see how things are changing. And it looks cool. It looks great, and it's great to see things like that. But again, this is this is something that you could already, I mean, if you really wanted to, you can already kind of do it. You know, you can be like, okay, Wander Franco in a couple years. He's a 77 now. I expect him to be around an 85. He's probably going to be my starting shortstop, right? Or designated hitter, second baseman, whatever it is, right? You know, you can see, okay, I know this player, his contract expires this year. So yeah, this is all just making it easier on the user, which is cool. But again, it's just a quality of life thing. It's not necessarily this big, amazing feature that you're going to sell people on playing franchise mode, right? It looks cool. It sounds great. It is a great thing, but it's not good enough.
Franco, of course. You might have heard of him. I don't know. Ronnie, you heard of one? It's not just a view. The other piece is actually being able to make roster moves. So if you're in the right parts of the season when we allow contract extensions, you can press X really easily and just extend that guy who's in his contract year. Also, if you notice, maybe you have a certain...
So again, it just looks like it's the new roster hub, right? You know, you click on the player, contract extension. You click on the player, make a trade. Again, it's cool. It's a great quality of life thing. You guys are going to know that phrase like the back of your hand by now, but it's just, oh man, it's just not good. I need more. It's just, ugh.
surplus in it.
So that was really it for franchise. A lot of visual things. They did talk about this new trade or this new player metric, the way that you value players, the way that it influences their trade value, their rating within your organization, their contract negotiations, which is cool. Like, again, as I knock this out, and I'm gonna need it to listen to the video, but like, if that is all you're selling me on for franchise this year, that's your new feature. It's garbage. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm going, I am trying to, you know, me, a couple other content creators are kind of the main people that are really pushing for this game mode because, you know, we really enjoy it. I know a lot of people really enjoy franchise. How are, you know, and there's other people in the community too. How can you really get excited about this game mode when the big change was just player metric, trade value, whatever they want to call it? It's so bad. It's so bad. And I'm sitting here going, March to October. Again, some of the things that they even added to March to October was okay. And I'm actually, one of the things that I really want to talk about, I'll get to it in a second, but like everything that they did for franchise was nothing but a quality of life improvement. That's really what it is. They just visual, it looks cool. You know, they gave you these projections. I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget these things. You know, they gave you this depth chart. It looks good. It sounds good, but it's not good enough. So let's get into this March to October stuff.
We've already ran over the organization,
and let's see what's going on here. So
feedback, and I'll admit that even I got confused at times when trying to figure out what I could or could not afford during my family.
Now let's get into budget systems.
Okay,
Clayton,
actually,
budget system
I missed one.
has been
Budget
overhauled for MLB
budget
Show
system.
21.
So
The budget.
I don't even need to listen to it. I don't need you guys to listen to it. Basically what they did was they made it a yearly budget, so it's easier to understand. That's it. So something that should have already been in the game, they finally did it. There you go. There's your budget system. And then they do touch on custom stadiums, the stadium creator, where this is actually cool. This one I thought was pretty cool.
Stadium creator is a new next gen feature. Can I build my own stadium and relocate it in franchise mode, Kyle?
Absolutely. I know, just like many of our fans, I am so excited for Creative Stadium. It's easily one of the most impactful features we've ever had in MLB the Show, and it wouldn't really be complete without being able to use it in franchise mode. It's also really easy. So you just go to franchise, go up at that top right and click the stadium assignments menu, and you'll see that you can set the stadium for every single major league and minor league club. This is really just
So that's cool. You can actually change your stadium. So if you have a custom stadium that you want to import, you can do it for the major league or the minor league teams. That's cool. That's cool. So they did say one caveat was you're only allowed 30 custom stadiums, like slots. So, you know, you can't do like all 30 MLB teams and then obviously all the minor league teams. You kind of have to pick and choose. So that's cool. I thought that was a cool addition, but again, I guess baby steps. Again, I don't know. So March to October, the main thing that I want to talk about with that is they did talk about I wrote it down. So let's just quickly talk about it. So the main thing that they talked about, they made the postseason moments quicker, which was a big issue with that. Team Affinity, of course, they had to improve that so that they do kind of pull you in to that Diamond Dynasty mode. Team Affinity rewards are improved. So there you go. Let me just slowly pull you into this game mode, this Diamond Dynasty, this online mode. You get rewards for a mode that you're not even playing. You're playing an offline mode. Why do I need rewards for an online mode? And then I guess their menu is more accessible for March to October, whatever that means. And let's talk about this one thing for March to October, because this, I thought, was something that could actually be implemented in the franchise and would be really helpful. So let me show you.
October is a bite-sized single season. You can strengthen your and more while earning Team Affinity. World Series run as a GM. You can
feature that focuses on low-level and often lower-rated players on your roster, the prospects. So how can prospects be useful to you in a single season in a March to October campaign?
I love dreaming on prospects just as much as our fans do, but because March to October is currently just one season, prospects tended to have very little value in this mode. That's all changed now that we've introduced these new fast track opportunities. So what fast tracks offer you is the experience to play play-a-lot games as a prospect in the minor leagues. And let me just add here that this is the first time we've had minor league games in March to October. What's really cool about fast track opportunities is that it offers our fans the ability to make even lower level prospects impactful during their March to October campaign.
All right, Clayton, let's talk about these fast track opportunities. Can you explain them in a little bit more detail, please?
Yeah, these opportunities are really a chance to accelerate the skill development of a prospect. As you can see from footage of Matt Liberator's player card before and after a successful fast track episode, performing well can boost a prospect's attributes. Liberator went from a 64 to a 70 overall. It can boost the
So why can't this be implemented in a franchise? Think about all those players that don't make it to the MLB until they're like 30 because they progress so slowly. I'm like thinking about all the franchise saves that I have, where I have, like an 18-year-old who's 50 overall, and it takes him until he's 30 years old to hit the 80 mark or the 70 mark or whatever it is. Why can't I have like a little fast track critical situation implemented in the franchise where I have, like this low rated prospect where I can do this little fast track menu, this little fast track mission, and now I bump them up from a 60 to a 64 or a 64 to a 70, whatever it is. And you could do that with your top prospects every once in a while. Why isn't that implemented in the franchise so that I can, fast track those prospects that normally I have to wait 6-7 seasons to actually see hit the majors? This is a cool idea. Why isn't this in franchise? Why can't these resources be put towards franchise? Why is it be putting towards a one season mode? So that really wraps it up. There was one more thing that they did touch on, which I thought was, again, just a small little thing.
So morale, the new cool addition with morale that we've added is its increased effect on player salary demands during contract extension negotiations. Players' morale can sway his salary expectations during extensions by as much as 10%, so keep your players happy for that team-friendly discount. And morale no longer affects players' in-game attributes as well. The last thing is the player card. Minor league stats are back, Ramon. We have
Okay, so morale affects contract negotiations. So how does that? I understand, it should, but like, how does that really help? Because what if a player? How does morale really influence a contract negotiation? You can't really interact with a player. I can't sit down and have a dinner with them and be like, hey, let me pitch you why you should join the team. I didn't piss you off, so why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So there's no interaction with the player. So if he's a free agent and I'm trying to get him to join the new team, my team, what morale does that really, like, how does it affect anything? And then on top of that, yeah, you could get a team-friendly contract, but I guess really the only thing you have going for you is if you have good coaches and you're competing. But if you look at some of the past rebuilds that I've had teams that make the postseason. they get to the ALCS, the ALDS, you know, they get to the World Series. And then the next year when I'm trying to sign a player because I'm ranked, you know, this 18th best team in baseball, that player doesn't think I'm competing, and they won't sign with me for a cheap deal. So how is morale really going to play into that? Is it really going to work? I just feel like there's a lot of flaws in it affecting contract negotiations, and it doesn't really make sense. I feel like if you're going to leave morale in the game, I would rather it affect the way the player performs and attributes rather than contracts, because I feel like contracts should have like a completely different system on how it affects players. But okay, so they took away the effects that it has on players' attributes, which I feel like that's what morale should do. And there's no mention of player development outside of this, you know, player projections thing. Is that the new potential? Is it like a dynamic potential system? Is it something that, you know, the players will change as they perform better? Will they hold their rating as they continue to perform? There's so many questions that I have. There's so many unanswered questions that I have. And I feel like nothing really changed. That's what I'm really getting at. I feel like nothing really changed. I feel like franchise is still just in a really bad place. You know, I'll touch on the minor league stats. Minor league stats is cool. Again, it's just a quality of life thing. Like, yeah, you can see how a player is doing in the minors, but it's just, I'm interested to see how this player projection, this player value thing really changes franchise. I want to, does that really play into how a player develops or regresses? There was really no mention of that at all in the stream, so I'm still worried about once a player hits 30, they're just going to tank an overall, or actually more so when they hit the 10 years of service time. It's just, I don't know, man. They say they listen to us. They say they're taking on these things, but are they really listening to us? Are they really taking on all of these? They're really taking the notes that they're saying they're doing? I don't know. I'm not sold. I'm pretty disappointed. I don't know why I got my hopes up in the first place. You know, it sucks, man. It really does. So that's really it. I'm not trying to make this longer than it should be. I'm not trying to just keep shitting on SDS when, you know, I understand that they are working. I know that they are trying to improve the game, but like, I just feel like it's not going anywhere, man. It's really not. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know, man. I hope you did. I hope you guys did. I don't know why I keep saying man. You could be ladies out there watching the videos too. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you some perspective on what happened, my perspective, my reaction, how I feel about it. There are some cool things that are added. Like, I'm excited to see how this player met, whatever they called it, this new trade logic, this new player valuation thing. I want to see how it plays in game. The depth chart and the visual changes are cool. It's just not good enough. That's really what it is. So that's it, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.